So I wanted to give my opinion on something. Well, obviously that's pretty obvious, hence why I'm making a video. Anyway, people constantly ask me if they're pro-black, or if this is pro-black, or if that is pro-black. Now, I do have a video, a very in-depth video, with the very definitions of what pro-black is and what it entails. So I'm going to put that in the description for you guys to check out. But one of the points in the video is about spending money in the black community. A major part of being pro-black means you support your communities and black-owned businesses. You also endeavor wherever possible to not spend your money within other communities, because you want your community to thrive and build itself up economically. You definitely don't spend money with other races that have no love for you. You don't spend where you won't be hired. That's a definite. If they won't employ you, then you don't give them your money. And this has to be done as a collective, as a unit. So what does this have to do with wearing weave, right? I'll get to that. I've heard people say that your appearance has nothing to do with your beliefs, what you stand for, or what you represent. Well, actually, that's not quite true. When I was 18 years old, I converted to Islam. I'm no longer a Muslim anymore, and most people are aware of my journey through religion and spirituality. But a brother once said to me, "Angel, you need to grow a beard and dress differently." When I asked him why, he said, "Well, a Muslim must be recognizable by his appearance on sight. A brother should have his hair a certain length, his nails must be cut a certain way, and he must have a beard. This is known as sunnah. And women have their own requirements too." People may say that, that's only if you're strict, right? But it's still relevant. Because when you embody everything that your faith says, that's when you are seen as a true, devout Muslim. For example, a white supremacist wouldn't wear their hair in cornrows or wear FUBU clothing or African garments. I'm also sure that it would be frowned upon if they bought anything from a black-owned store. I mean, they're a white supremacist. They don't have no business giving money to the black man like that. So if you're a pro-black sister, but you're wearing weave, which resembles that of a European woman, for example, and yes, I know white people don't hold the monopoly on straight hair, but for this, we're going to assume that the straight weave is not the same as the hair that grows out of your head naturally. Now, this video is in no way about weave shaming at all. I'm very open about how I feel about weaves. It's not that I don't like how they look or anything. It's about what they do to your edges and your hair. I'm completely against perms because of the health implications of relaxers. I'll put a link in my description about the reasons why you shouldn't wear weaves or perm your hair. Now, it's not so much about straight hair. Like I said before, I know that weaves or wigs that are straight doesn't mean that they're Eurocentric or imitating white women, simply because white people do not hold the monopoly on straight hair. And I also have a video about that in the description, because I got really irritated when Whoopi Goldberg said that wearing weave or straight-haired wigs is cultural appropriation of white culture. White culture, whatever that is. It's not cultural appropriation at all. So check the video out in the description. Remember, this is about pro-blackness. I believe there are levels to being pro-black. Some black people would not do anything that isn't within the so-called pro-black rules. So you might be a sister that is down for the cause and a warrior who just happens to wear straight-haired blonde weave. And if that's your thing, then that's your thing. You wear your hair any way you want. Screw what anyone else thinks. But if the hair that grows out of your head is 4C and dark brown, then you just might not be as pro-black as you think you are. But then again, you might be wanting to imitate a black woman that has straight hair. Who knows? Or you just might want to have a different style, and that's fine. Now, some women say that they just want to be versatile. They like to switch it up.
Switch my wig, make him feel like he cheating. Put him on his knees, give him something to believe in.
I like that. I mean, they say variety is the spice of life. I don't mind my woman wearing a straight wig one day, a curly wig the next, some braids, some locks, and an afro. By all means, switch it up and be versatile. But if you're going to say that you're being versatile by wearing wigs and weaves, you can't really use that excuse if you only ever wear straight-haired wigs and weaves and nothing else. It's not versatile if you only wear straight hair. But remember, I said there's levels to this. I personally don't think I'm as pro-black as some people. I'm trying, but at times I fail. I personally believe that all of us are on our journey and we'll get there eventually. So it's not about knocking other people that haven't quite got to your level yet. Black women, you know I will always have your back, but I have to be honest in regards to this. Being pro-black means you're proud of your blackness. You're proud of your ties and roots to Africa and all that Africa represents. You want to be black. You know, I'm black and I'm proud. So you'd want to showcase your hair, your God-given gift. And I think in terms of appearance, strictly, when people see you as a pro-Black woman, they will automatically recognize what you stand for before you open your mouth. I'm not talking about weave and wigs being the issue. That's not the issue. We're talking about the hair texture, because there are Afro-textured wigs. Firstly, weave is really bad for you. I'm going to put a link in the description to a video about natural hair, weaves, and wigs also. Now, of course, you might argue, but what if her hair is natural underneath the wig or the weave, and she's just transitioning or in the TWA stage? Yeah, that's true. Some women want to wait till their hair is a little longer before they reveal it to the world. And, we got to respect that. But I will say again, there are wigs. I'm going to push wigs rather than weaves, but there are wigs that look like natural hair. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I always thought Erykah Badu had her own hair, but then I learned she wears wigs. Again, not sure how true this is, but I've seen it in a few places. But she's an example of a pro-Black conscious sister who, although she wears wigs, they're Afro-textured and they look amazing. So if you're pro-Black, you wouldn't wear a European-style wig or weave because it simply does not represent your pro-Black standpoint. And that's just appearance. But moving on to money. This is the most important part. When you buy your European-style weave, regardless of whether it's Brazilian, Asian, Peruvian, whatever, where do you buy it? Do you buy it from a Black-owned hair store or an Asian-owned hair store? Because if you buy it from an Asian store, you're definitely not sticking to the pro-Black rules or code. It's also not something that we should let slide, because bundles of hair can cost anything from $50 to thousands upon thousands of dollars. I remember Vivica Fox saying once that her weave on her head cost $7,000. So you just gave an Asian man that kind of money? Nah, you're not pro-Black. Okay, but what if you bought from a Black-owned store? Then you spent your money in the community, right? No, you didn't. No, because the Black-owned store is merely a reseller. If Jermaine Johnson from Weaves at Unbelievable Prices bought the hair directly from India or Malaysia or China or Peru, he still bought it from someone who's non-Black. Therefore, your money goes to fund the non-Black person's business. European-looking style hair isn't something we can produce ourselves in mass. Obviously, there's synthetic hair. But again, where does your store owner get his supply of the synthetic hair from? That's how deep and serious being pro-Black really is. I've heard people say that Cynthia G is not pro-Black because of her hair. Now, I don't know whether it's a weave or a wig. I don't really care. Well, I hope it's not a weave because they're bad for you. Rather a wig than a weave. But I do know that underneath the wig, she does have naturally curly, coily hair. Whatever her reasons are for not showing her hair to the world or covering it with a wig that's a different texture to her natural hair is her own reasons. Does that stop her from being pro-Black though? Well, she just might not be as pro-Black as some sisters. But if she bought it from a Black-owned hair store and the Black-owned hair store has Black suppliers, well, then she'd still be pro-Black, right?
This is Cynthia G, and I don't wear weaves. I wear wigs, and they're all purchased from Black-owned companies. I don't buy anything from Asians unless I absolutely have to, and I somehow don't know that I'm purchasing something from an Asian. I support mostly Black-owned businesses.
Now you might ask, well, what about sisters who are natural, but they outside of their race? Well, of course, they're not pro-Black. That's true. Because pro-Black also means you have a partner of the African diaspora. However, here's where the confusion lies, and I hope I can clear it up. A natural sister who's in an interracial relationship, she's not pro-Black, but she might be Afrocentric. You see, Afrocentric is not race-specific either. Anyone who wears a lot of African clothing, hairstyles, integrates themselves within the African culture could be considered Afrocentric. So you'd be Afrocentric, not pro-Black. I've even seen an Afrocentric white dude, believe it or not. He wasn't pro-Black because, for one, he simply wasn't Black, but he was Afrocentric. And being Afrocentric doesn't mean you throw on a dashiki every 6 months. You have to really embody and live the African culture. We might not agree with a white person being Afrocentric or embodying the African culture, but it does happen. Remember, even Black people can be Eurocentric. We've all seen Eurocentric Black people or Black people that adopt Eurocentric culture or even Asian culture. So there you have it. If you wear a European-style weave or wig, you're not pro-black. If you buy from a non-black vendor who also did not get his hair from black sources, you're not pro-black. So yes, appearance is very important. It says a lot about you. Think about it. Would you listen to Dr. Umar Johnson if he had a relaxed mohawk, dressed like Carlton Banks, and had a white woman on his side? Peace, love, and coconut oil.
Hey man, that's racist. Please remember that from now on, brand new never-before-seen videos, as well as live streams, will only be available on my website, ikyg.com, via a Patreon subscription. ikyg.com is a Black-owned, Black-ran platform, 100% free from censorship. It's the only place where we don't have to worry about what we say and expressing ourselves. Make sure you check out the description and the comment section for important links, as well as information in video form that shows you what benefits you get when you support the site and join my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe and be notified every time I upload a video. For exclusive content and perks, check out my Patreon. This is where we have private live streams, group chats, live Q&As, live phone calls, and open topics. This is a safe space where you can interact with other like-minded people, make friends, send each other direct private messages, and so much more without any trolls. And yes, you get to use GIFs and images in the live chats. So what are you waiting for? This is a completely independent website, free from censorship. If you'd like to make a donation towards the site so we can continue to put out the truth without fear of being silenced, then please hit that donation button. It's greatly appreciated. Check out the rest of the site for videos, private and public live streams, find out all the tea, and make sure to utilize the Black Money section of the website. Advertise your business absolutely free to people that look like you, free forever. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at angel_IKYG.